I think we can all agree that Spider-Man is pretty damn unlucky. Or, well, the writers just don't really like him very much because they put him through quite a lot of absolute BS. So I like talking about, well, giving Spider-Man something that he could be proud of, something he could be happy with. And that's why I talked about him being with Supergirl, him being with Starfire. But what about him being with Batgirl or Barbara Gordon? Now, we also know her as Oracle, and we also know that she has her own kind of, amazingness to her. But I would like to talk about kind of just a broad idea of why they would make such an amazing couple. Why together, both Peter Parker and Barbara Gordon would be straight up amazing. Now, for starters, I think we all can agree that they have massive shared crime fighting experience. I mean, both Peter and Barbara are street level like heroes. Now, we won't go into any arguments with whose villains are crazier, Batman's or Spider-Man's, or what's going on, who has stronger. I'm not here to talk about all that. But to an extent, they are very street level. I know some are not, but for the most part, they do deal with a lot of street level crime. And they do that within their respective cities, being that of Gotham or Queens, respectively, right? They don't have your godlike powers. They rely heavily on their skills, their agility, their intelligence. Now, I will admit, Spider-Man does have the leg up in terms of, powers and having gifts that are beyond the normal humanity or human being. But of course, they still do rely on other things outside of just, powers or strength or the ability to fight. Now, this is the same idea of really going into their intellect and their wit, because Peter Parker is a genius in science. He was able to create his own webbing. He was able to create cures for different villains. He was able to do so many different things, and the list goes on in terms of his scientific creativity, but also his scientific just advancement in general. Now, for Batgirl or Barbara Gordon, she's one of the smartest minds in the DC universe. Barbara Gordon as Oracle is an expert hacker, a strategist, right? Something that really bodes well is the fact that she's very similar to Batman in those aspects of being able to understand certain scenarios, being a very, very strategy heavy person, but also having that hacker-esque to her as well. At the end of the day, she was literally called the Oracle or Oracle for a reason. She's extremely intelligent, extremely witty, and she knows how to break down circumstances better than you could possibly even imagine, and better than what most people could ever imagine as well. And this would help them honestly come together with kind of being able to combine their intellects to create new gadgets, new strategies, new anything you can think of. They would both be able to create some pretty damn awesome things. Maybe even create kind of like a company or a corporation, basically to save people, to help people that are in need, and so on and so forth. And really the list goes on and on with what they can do together, and the list goes on and on with what they can do in general. But that is really just the hero side of life, the heroism side of life. And we all know that there's a lot more to life than just being a hero. Peter has to have the Peter aspect of himself too. And these two can really face the struggles and maintain that normal life that they want, both separating the superhero and normal life together, because they have both dealt with quite a bit, like quite a lot. I mean, obviously we know what Peter has dealt with. We talk about and joke around about the idea that he is treated like absolute garbage by the writers, so he faces a ton of trauma. But Barbara Gordon, she's kind of in the same boat. She faces quite a bit of trauma and quite a bit of, very, very bad things that occurred to her in general throughout her time with Batman, and also throughout her time working as Batgirl. We see it even in Joker's attack and The Killing Joke. We see a lot of horrible things happen to versions of Barbara Gordon, so we know that she has the kind of wherewithal and the idea of what it means to really have sacrificed so much, what it means to be held down, hurt, and really have to maintain that normal life, even though you're being beaten up by what's happening around you day in and day out. And they would truly be able to understand each other's pain more than, honestly, really any other character. I talk about Spider-Man or other people being able to basically enjoy slash kind of understand each other because of their presence and what they've been through. But this is even to a higher degree. Both Spider-Man and Batgirl have been through a ton. Like a ton. I mean, from death to injuries, to things happening to loved ones, everything you could think of, they've really been through it. So the fact that they're so similar in this way, they would be able to really connect on a deeper level and really connect with the idea of balancing that hero aspect and that personal life. But I like talking about this as well, the humor that Peter Parker will always bring to his relationships is always going to be a plus side for me. I mean, at the end of the day, you are dealing with psychopaths, villains, everything you can think of from a day-to-day basis, day in and day out. So having that quippy, sarcastic sense of humor, having a sense of humor in general when things feel like they're crumbling and collapsing around you, is always good for the two people that are together that are dealing with the exact same thing. And Barbara has shown kind of, a quippy and sarcastic sense of humor from time to time again, but also has shown a more serious side here and there as Oracle. But honestly, I think it would be good for her and good for them as a relationship to have that humor. And Spider-Man or Peter will always bring that sense of humor, and the banter that they can have together while fighting villains make things not feel so scary. Don't make it so the tension of fighting these world-altering villains won't feel as bad. Being able to allow them to really loosen up, being able to allow them to team up and have this dynamic, this entertaining dynamic between the both of them. But on top of that, they'll be able to really have their playful personalities affect their relationship, and it would be kind of this fun and engaging kind of duo or partnership that they can maintain. And since they kind of walk a very similar life, they could definitely coexist to a large extent. And I could see even Peter bringing aspects of his learning and what he's been through throughout his journeys to Batgirl, and you could even say that Batgirl would do the same, or Barbara would do the same for him, about the teachings that she's learned from Bruce, or the teachings that she's learned from Gotham City. These are things, if you combine them together, it will make them even greater heroes. And I always did like the idea of having two masked crusaders, or masked kind of vigilantes-esque heroes being kind of together or on the same team. I mean, at the end of the day, they would have a mutual respect and trust for their secret identities. And Barbara does value her own independence, and Peter would respect that kind of strength that she holds, that resilient strength that she would hold for wanting to be independent, wanting to kind of push the boundary of what she can do, not just be the chair, right? She doesn't just want to be the chair. She wants to be Batgirl. She wants to be out there saving lives and helping others, but on top of that, wants to be the chair too, where she can help others from the chair and also away from the chair. And that's a big thing that Peter would understand as well, because he wants to do good things, really, really important things outside of just being Spider-Man. He wants to do really amazing things as Peter Parker, as a brilliant scientist, as someone who can create these amazing experiments and these crazy and amazing inventions that could cure and help others that are around the world. Both Peter and Barbara have these similar goals in mind, and would lead to them having this mutual trust and this mutual respect for every aspect of their relationship that they want to get into. They would build this equality rather than one person really needing to save the other, like some other relationships that we could have with Peter, or with Peter in general, right? We have your MJs, your Gwen Stacy's. When they don't have powers, Peter is the one that always has to save. Now, if you have Barbara Gordon or Batgirl, we have a different scenario now, right? She is fully capable of defending herself. She is fully capable of helping others, helping her, or helping him, helping Peter. And yes, you could kind of say the same thing or very similar ideas to your Starfires, right? To your Supergirls, right? Supergirl is the big one that you guys really enjoyed, it seemed, because she was able to swoop in and really, that power dynamic was heavily on her side because of how strong she is, But in terms of this, they're very even. I know, yes, Peter's probably above her because he does have superhuman-like powers, or spider-like powers, you could even say. But at the same time, they are very even in who can save who and who can help who. And they can help in just various different ways. Like I've said before, from science to your run-of-the-mill kind of hacker strategist that we know Oracle Oracle or Barbara Gordon is. And it would be just a fantastic blend of what both of them would truly want, and a fantastic blend of personalities, and also kind of what they're capable of, right? What they bring to the table is a perfect blend for each other, a perfect blend for heroes, but also a perfect blend for a relationship. Now, we could even see it through different lenses and how they meet up in the first place. Maybe Peter is swinging through Gotham one day where, they're in different universes. Now they've been pushed together. He's swinging through Gotham with Barbara or with Batgirl, maybe with her kind of new web-esque slinging kind of thing as well. Maybe she uses kind of the webs, or kind of like a version of it. Maybe like a different version of it that would be similar to like a bat kind of webbing. You never really know. And it would even allow her to kind of propel herself and allow her to fly a lot easier than just jumping off of buildings. She could straight up swing and then fly with her cape. And Spider-Man could do very similar things as well, where we have seen him have kind of like a squirrel-like suit where he can fly across. So imagine if you have both of them swinging and gliding through Gotham or New York City, and they complement each other's styles and honestly each other's kind of like look as well, where you have Batgirl's like, more darker kind of coloring, but you have Spider-Man's more bright and awesome and out there and popping kind of coloring as well, where you have them side by side. I think it honestly is a pretty cool thing to look at, and a pretty cool thing for it to happen. Now, another thing that would be really, really awesome is watching Batgirl and Spider-Man swing through a city, maybe as a more venomized type of person. Maybe Venom has Spider-Man, and you have that black suit, and they're side by side, one black suit next to the other. I think that would be pretty damn badass. Excuse my language, but it would be pretty damn awesome to see. And I can see some pretty crazy storylines happening with the chemistry that they could possibly build, and the chemistry they could possibly have in a different universe. Obviously, the universes will never collide to the degree that I would love them to collide, but I would love to see an interaction between Peter Parker and Barbara Gordon. But I would love to hear what you guys have to think. What do you guys think about the idea of Spider-Man and Batgirl coming together and becoming a couple? What do you think about them coming together and, making a relationship? How do you think they would be? Do you think they would be good together? Do you think they wouldn't be good together? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. At the end of the day, I might have missed some ideas. I might have missed some points that you believe I should have hit. So, as always, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to read them, love to check out what your opinion on the subject is, because of course I am a comic casual, so there's a good chance that I missed some things out, or there's a really high likelihood that I did miss some things throughout this video. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I don't have much else to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, YouTube believes that you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.